First of all, give us some specific examples of birth trauma. I've never really thought deeply about what were we discussing the other day? Okay. Circumcision, especially after birth, and the effect that that could have on a child, in his opinion, of his mother. Abandonment issues, and then that being carried into the relationship world and the world at large. Give us kind of an idea of what we're really looking at here.
You opened that door really wide. Okay.
I think there's something there.
Okay, so during World War II, almost every baby was circumcised if they were born in hospitals. A few were born at home. Hospital included circumcising. Circumcising is the most painful experience most humans could ever have. The penis is the most sensitive organ on a man, and they just cut now this is probably 50% now, but it was more like 80-90%. So they're still doing this every day. So it terrorized the baby. Then the baby feels abandoned by the mother, because the natural instinct is for the mother to, as soon as the baby's born, to come up and go right on the chest or the breasts, or maybe just on the belly. And the actual, all this is coordinated. The baby lays on the belly and pushing the belly down with its weight, and then the afterbirth comes out. So it's coordinated. The baby goes on the belly contracts, it nurses, that helps the afterbirth. The afterbirth comes out, or the mommy will die. So it all has to happen in that sequence. So if they take the baby away and then circumcise us boys, and the main cultures in the world that do this are the white Christians, the Jews, the Muslims, and African tribes.
And if that mother is having to be C-sectioned, bluntly said, cut open, that baby is going to feel all of that going on.
But they also miss, you bring up a really good point, because the 35% C-section rate now in most hospitals, it's more in some and less in others, that's cutting the baby out. So the baby doesn't come through the vagina. All these imprints are on us who went through hospital births. And those imprints last lifelong in the subconscious. That's where Freud discovered where the psyche, it's in the subconscious, but he couldn't find it.
Now, for some reason, it's being reported that this is being done more in hospitals, the removal of the baby from the mother.
Yes.
And it's causing activist groups to take notice. There's more. Do you think this is intentional, or this is just something that our society is naturally moving towards, a less loving society where we're becoming robots without even knowing what's happening?
Both of those are true. So, but anyway, back to finish on the circumcision. So after the baby is circumcised, and there's a terroristic threatening, and there's no anesthetic, because it's more dangerous to give an anesthetic to a newborn than it is to cut their penis off, or part of it. So then the baby goes back to the mom after 5 or 10 minutes. I've talked to moms who told me, midwives, I'm consulting with midwives about this, that they actually didn't know that it was their baby after they took the baby away and did all the cleaning and measuring and blood samples and or circumcision, and the baby came back, and the mother did not know it was her baby. She felt like, is this my baby? But it's naturally supposed to come out, go right on the belly. So the midwifery movement is really a very wonderful, a blessing, natural, revolutionary experience. And the century, now we have a century of hospital birthings. Been more and more and more. I don't get into that in this at all.
Okay.
Not at all. This is more about physical healing, permaculture, clay. I want to mention this, because this is azomite clay.
And you gave me some of this the other day.
This is azomite clay.
You said it's good for the skin.
Very good as a mud in the skin. And I found 30 different functions or uses for clay. Now where does this come from? This is from Utah. It's azomite is a brand name. It has 60 minerals in it. Now we know in the natural health and organic movement, we have to have minerals, and they're very healing, and they're essential for building tissue, muscles, nerves, bones, hair, teeth, the whole thing.
Okay.
Minerals. But the actual problem with health or a problem with consumption is acids. So minerals are alkaline, and sweets are and flours and cooked foods, mostly cooked fats, dairy, and flour foods are acid. So you hear acid stomach. Okay, people have acid stomach. What is it? It kind of tastes acidy, it smells, it hurts, that sort of thing. And then they have antacids. So it's not a new thing that we have an alkaline healing herbs.
Talk about these mucus bombs.
Well, mucus bombs are any food that is acidic. So we got pastry, pasta, popcorn, flour, foods, bread, cookies, the whole thing. All the sweets, all the candies, milkshakes. You have a list is 100 things, different kinds of foods. So I'd like to show the slides. Could we show the slides?
I thought that is a great idea. And Bill, we'll kind of start at the top. For those watching, if you have a health question you'd like to ask Micheal, and by the way, Micheal was also on Coast to Coast several years ago as well. You can find that interview online. But the number is 503-288-4442, 503-288-4442. Micheal and myself would love to hear from you. Let's go through some of the slides, beginning with the first one, Bill.
I gotta keep stretching my body every day, lots during the day.
Well, I've been getting more active in the last couple of months. You know, I think a lot more people are on that.
Oh, here we go.
Wavelength of.
Here we go. Okay, these are the just a dramatic picture of nerves and blood vessels. The red are the arteries, the blue are the veins. The arteries go from the heart, the blue goes back to the heart. That's nothing new. Next. Now this is a 15 of the meridians, 14 of the meridians in the body that the Chinese medicine, and we do stretching to keep the energy flowing through the meridians. That's what yoga and Tai Chi are for, to keep the energy flowing.
Can we go over a few of these on camera with the hands?
Yeah, I will. Okay. I will do the main Hoku point afterwards. Okay, next. This is the lymph glands. There are hundreds, actually thousands of lymph glands in the body, and whenever you get a so-called infection, which is acidosis, the lymph glands swell up because they're trying to eliminate the acids and balance the body. Lymph glands are very, very well known, especially if you ever had an infection, which is the wrong word. Okay, next. This is the heart and also the glands. Now, we really need to know where the glands are, what they do, and the hormones they produce. Oxytocin is the hormone of ecstasy, and we'll go into that later. Okay, here is a sort of a rant on raw food for healing. Very popular in the tropics, but also I got very sick in the tropics in Hawaii from pigging out on raw fruit. There's more raw fruit there than you can imagine. Okay, next. Okay, blood cells. Red blood cells and lymphocytes. There's all these different microbes in blood that we need to balance constantly every day with everything we take in and our elimination. That's our main thing, is to balance our blood. And it's a chemical process, but it has also emotional aspects too. Next. These are the 12 meridians in Chinese. It looks kind of confusing if you haven't studied it. And I'm still learning. I've been learning these for 15 years. I didn't take any courses. I just self-taught and look at the charts and poke around in my body. And those points each have the organs they're connected to and the functions of those organs to keep the energy flowing through your body. Next. Water is probably, breathing and water are the two most free energy of nature that we can use.
And please expose your water to sunlight.
Sunlight, evaporation, if it's chlorinated, and maybe a little teeny pinch of salt or a little teeny pinch of azomite, which I do I put in my water whenever I'm doing taking unfiltered water. Okay, next. Okay, there's the yin and yang. So the one is going up, the other is going down. Always balancing, always spiraling, balancing, spiraling, balancing. This is a symbol of Tai Chi, Qigong, the Taoism, and all that. So next. Okay, so we're mentioning water. There's a doctor named Dr. Batman G, a Persian, who discovered water cure healing with a total tiny pinch of salt every day, half a gallon of water to a gallon of water a day per person is healing. And you think in Americans, having bottled water and sodas and coffees and all that, that's sickening. You may not know that it's sickening for a while, for years, but then if you reverse it, reversology, you do the opposite, then water is healing. Now, on the one on the left is a book. They're both covers of books. Alkalize or die, meaning minerals, raw food, greens, herbs, bitters, healing.
I do want to say something for the pessimists. There's a few that do watch a show. The whole, they're fluoridating the water, it's a conspiracy. And they are. But as far as Portland, be grateful. We do have some resources for affordable filtered water at a number of grocery stores here, because when you demand things as a consumer, sometimes you really do get what you're asking for. So there are places you can go, and there are alternatives to the tap.
Well, we can dechlorinate the tap, and I've been doing that for 20 years when I live in a city and there's tap water. So you got 3 ways to purify the water. You got dechlorination, which is you let the water sit out in a warm room overnight, and it will dechlorinate. You can put a teeny bit of salt in it, or you can filter it. So there's 3 ways to purify the water from city water. You don't have to buy a whole filter, but you can also go take your gallons to the health food stores and get filtered water. Okay, next. Here's a couple people. One is a woman on the left is gathering aloe vera, which is considered the probably the best skin herb, even though there's, you could say olive oil too. And the guy on the right is harvesting a root of an herb, which I don't know which one is harvesting. Okay, next please. Okay, there's a bunch of different physical exercises, some yoga, swimming, boating, looks like a little massage, and skiing. All these things are natural things that we can do that you stay healthy. See, I'm over 65 now, and I'm getting younger because I've been doing this intensely every day for 5 years. And I could go through the list of all these things. Okay, next. Okay, here's some more. Sliding down snow or sand or whatever. Falling in water, dancing, hammocks. I've slept in a hammock for 5 years. And also, there's a teepee guy. Somebody has crawled up to the top of a teepee poles, and he's hanging out there. I can't quite figure out what he's doing up there, but this other guy is crawling up and down the face of a cliff, and that's rock climbing or rocking or whatever they call it. All those are good for your body. They're invigorating, and you're being in nature, and you're absorbing the nature of energy of nature. Next one. Okay, now this is satire. This is a British satire of a cartoon of a couple who have gone out into the country to, relax.
All we need is love.
And this is actually a satire on all the things that they're afraid of. There's 45 of them in nature. So this is, I call it ecophobia. People who grow up in cities, born in hospitals, inherit their parents' fears, and they're afraid of bugs and dark and dirt and germs, and I mean it's a list. There's like 50 different.
And they're going to like codependently save each other from those things.
Well, yeah, oh yeah. Well, the bugs are coming in. Oh, and it's dirty and yeah. Well,
gotcha.
Saviorism is very popular.
Ecophobic couple. A lot of those.
Saviorism is very popular.
Metrosexuals running about.
The hurry up heroic doctors. Okay, next. Now this is a book that exposes all the garbage which I call mucus bombs, and also causing acidosis toxemia that you can, but most people are addicted to that. I was addicted to hamburgers for like 20 years. It's not an easy thing getting off of that stuff.
Meat, no.
Okay, next. Okay, this is a little drawing by Diane Schatz of a carless suburb, hippie style, and Ecotopia in the Northwest or wherever, styled after Southeast Asia communities. That's Southeast Asian communities have that kind of flow, and there's water running around. And I went to Southeast Asia, Bali, and a few other places, and Thailand, to see their life there, because they've been doing this for thousands of years. Okay, next.
Can I mention some things on that? Just to add to that, we have a new return to democracy in this, a natural Bill of Rights, legalized hemp.